A lot of people in our community, they don't know their worth. They'll get on the internet, on these social media platforms, and advertise their happiness as if they're living the dream. Alright, so how do we break it? How do we break the brainwashing in the community? We don't. You know why we don't? Because we have to own up to the fact that as far as the masses in our community, we have to hold ourselves accountable to the fact that we let it get this far. Every other race has put a good stop to their oppression. I mean, yeah, you got Hispanics and you know, the government going through a thing right now, but there's no oppression. The LGBTQ community damn near came in and bullied their way to the top. And here we are still trying to figure out how to get our brains out of the gutter. How do we get them to realize how valuable we are? How do we get them to stop shooting us and being prejudiced and all this? The common thing here is that we care way too much about what people on the outside of our community think of us. And then two, like I said before, the masses, the majority of us are lost. Have lost the ability to know what it is to be black. More people in our community have an ideology, more of a European ideology, more of a European look at life in American ways. A lot of people in our community are chasing the American dream, which is a dream that wasn't even made for us to be obtaining in the first place. So what do you think happens when you try to obtain something that not only was set up for you to never get, but I mean, that's just it. It's just not set up for you to ever have. And then what are we calling the American dream? Because the description of that is, it's a European term, and the description of that is, okay, you become of age, an adult, right? You get a job, you work at that job for 20 to 30 to 40 years. You retire from that job, you get you a 401k plan, you live off that 401k plan. Your wife's a housewife, your kids is gonna do the same thing you just did, and that's it. It's a very European way of thinking. Now for a white person, for the average white person, their life, they've had a 500-year head start. So their life is panned out already. That's why I never understand the white people that aren't making it in the world, the white people that are just as poor as us and stuff like that. I sympathize with y'all for the ones that don't look at black people as niggas or don't hate us. But for the most part, y'all just wasted y'all advantage. But anyway, we cannot stop the damage that has been done in our community. Can't stop it. We have to stop focusing on repairing what has happened when the primary suspect that caused that pain, that caused that trauma, is set on subliminally dissing you every chance they get. Right? So the goal should be on an individual basis or a small group basis. So if you're an individual that wants to affect change in the community, you start to outwardly express that to those that may think like you, or even have an open mind enough to where they can think like you or can understand. Then once you obtain friendships with those people, y'all band together and figure out what the goal is. Now here's the thing though. Each individual person in that group has to be making some type of capital, some type of money. Because it's going to take money to affect change. Not to mention we're fighting up against trillion-dollar companies, whether if it's the pharmaceutical companies, whatever companies, man, that don't care about you. So my thing is, let's forget about trying to change the world, and let's just look at the potential within our each in our own individual selves. Because if you spend and invest time in the potential in yourself, and you obtain that reward of becoming a higher self, then now you can focus on the next phase, which is now obtaining the same energy that you are putting out. Because right now, there are a lot of people that will sit up here and say, oh, I wonder why I keep coming in contact with these people or that people or this person or that person. Certain types of people you come in contact with, right? But we never look at the internal blame. We always point the finger outward. And in some cases that may be relevant. You know, you may have some cases where the woman was beaten on or cheated on, or maybe the dude was cheated on, or maybe he was done wrong in some type of way. You know what I mean? But in most cases, the very thing you need to do to better your life is just to improve self. If you can improve self and build yourself to a higher plateau internally, emotionally, mentally, physically, all of that, to where you're not dealing with the insecurities that you may hide right now, then it becomes a lot easier to interact with people on the outside of your bubble. It becomes a lot easier to build friendships. It becomes a lot easier to see the snakes in the grass, because now you know who you are as opposed to having a perception of who you are. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to bring it back to the civil rights times, right? In the civil rights times, you had the Million Man March. You had all, you know, the majority back then was leaders. The majority was leaders. The minority was the people that lead us now. The cowards, the brainwashed, self-hating black people that hate themselves, so they outwardly rebel against whatever positive we got going on. There's a reason why we have all this stuff going on. But back then, it's because of the fact the majority was the popular, okay? We were able to affect change a lot faster than we are now, because now the people that are leading are the cowards, are the ones that will shoot another black man. And I'm talking about black on black crime. I'm talking about the coward that is in the hood and he would rather shoot another black man than do something to the cop that just killed his little cousin. How do you explain that? Again, I'm going to go back to the fact that how do we break the brainwashing? You can't. It's too far deep now as far as changing the mind or the narrative of the masses, the majority of us that are living now. Okay? Right now, a lot of people in our community, they don't know their worth. They'll get on the internet, on these social media platforms, and advertise their happiness as if they're living the dream. But in truth, they're depressed, sad, angry, everything. Look at the way black people treat other black people. Why is that a thing? Why am I more likely to get an excuse me or a hello from a white person than I am from a black person? Of course, this is subjective depending on where you live, because there's more racist spots. I don't know where all of y'all are at. But anyway, it's tough, because it's sad every time I see an ignorant black man or a black woman that'll justify why she's a hoe. A black woman that she's famous from fucking celebrity guys, and she's okay with that. I don't have a problem with her, but I have a problem with the message she expresses. Because of the fact that there are little girls that are now going to watch that and want to emulate her, because she has chosen the easy route. You know how easy it is? Every woman on this planet could just open their legs and let dudes go crazy, and dudes won't say nothing. Men won't say nothing, because they ain't gonna mess up a chance to get in that, to hit that. But see, that's where people like me come into play, because this unpopular opinion that I have is not going to be felt by most people. It is not going to be liked by most people. I don't even want it to be liked by most people. Let's get that clear. The goal for my videos is the group of people out there that is open-minded enough and understanding enough to where they can either debate with me, have conversations with me, or just watch my videos and just expand their mind a little bit. Those are the ones I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the ones that watch my video and decide, oh, this ain't for me. I'm gonna tell him this ain't for me and why this ain't for me. I don't care. Just exit. I don't need to know why it's not for you. But anyway, you want to affect change in our community? Stop looking for validation or approval from the masses and look for approval and validation within yourself. Save your money. Do research on investments, whether if it's real estate, mutual funds, IRAs, certain 401ks and all that. Depending on what you're trying to do your research and use that phone in your hand. Use this thing, man. Use it. Use it. If your whole social media is nothing but selfies and sharing shit from other people, you're not living to your full potential. For my brothers out there, understand this, King. If your whole motivation is just to be in the hood, shoot at somebody when they shoot at you, no, excuse me, shoot at another black brother for a petty reason, but then when a white man come around, you ready to bow your head and suck his dick. You failing, man. Don't worry about my opinion. I'm talking about your future kids, your legacy. You have failed. Because instead of building upon your potential, you choose to sit on the block and smoke weed and hang with the homies, and that's it. What are you doing to better your life and your community? That is the only thing that should be important right now in our community. For the people that don't want to do nothing to better the community or better their own lives, then hey man, that's kudos to you. But don't come talking that woke shit to me. Your points is invalid since you decided not to live to your full potential, since you decided to live a life of ignorance, since you decided not to expand your mind and do research on things instead of just forming opinions around your own emotional bias. I'm not saying I have the answers. I never said that. What I am saying is I am a man that is sitting up here having a conversation with the people that care to have the conversation to find an answer to something. If you're watching this, then that means you're interested in a solution. I'm not saying I have the solution. I'm saying I might spark the mind that does. Feel me? Our community is nobody will admit it outside of our community, but our community is the most hated, the most overlooked, the most discouraged, the most brainwashed, the most traumatized, the most oppressed, the most everything. But yet we still shop in their stores. And I'm not saying you gotta buy black everything. I understand that one day you might need to go to Walmart and buy some diapers real quick because you forgot to do it before. Whatever. I understand that. What I'm saying is making the conscious effort to apply money to the community sometimes. Making a conscious effort to apply research and apply effort to your potential growth sometimes. It's about evolution, and we are not evolving. We are still the same. We want to be in the hood, we want to smoke, we want to hang with the homies and all that stuff, but then we'll turn around and complain about where our life is and wonder why we ain't getting nowhere, because you are not applying all the effort. You want to be stable, but you will not give up your habit of smoking weed. By all means, if you can afford your habit, do your thing. But there's so many people out here that are piss broke. I mean, barely got 2 nickels to rub together, and you done finally got $5. And you want to go buy some weed. That's all you got is $5. You want to go buy some weed. You just got your paycheck. You got to pay bills. And when all your bills is paid, maybe you got what, $50 or $100 left, and you going to go buy an ounce of weed. Come on, man. Why not put that $100 in a mutual fund? Let it appreciate for you. Let it grow for you. Imagine if that same amount of money that you waste every month, you put that in a mutual fund or IRA, right? And you let it grow for you. You let it grow, obtain, how do I say, you let it work for you.
What's free? What's free?
Excuse me, my phone went off. But anyway, okay, so If you do that, 10 years go by, do your research. Because I think you'd be surprised and happy at how much you would have after that 10 years. But then you're going to say, oh, I don't want 10 years to da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, but you're going to spend the next 10 years wasting money on Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Versace, and weed. Oh, but that's a good time. You would rather have a good time than apply effort and apply investment to your future and your kids' legacy and their future and your grandkids' legacy and their future. You ain't even thinking. You gonna make justification after justification, and that is black on black crime. The waste of black life. That's why them white people ain't listening to you when you say your life matters. Because we screaming this while we shooting at each other. Why are we shooting at each other? Why are we beating each other down? Verbally, emotionally, mentally, physically, all of that. We beating each other down. And they sit back there sipping tea and eating crackers, laughing at us, while we buy all their pharmaceutical drugs and pump our damn veins with them, while we spend all our money on their brand name clothing that they obviously have said they don't want us to wear, while we smoke up all the weed that we get in these dispensaries that ain't even pure weed no more. Sacrifice is the main topic here. What are you willing to sacrifice to obtain that comfortable, stable life you want to have so badly? Could you give up the weed? Can you give up the liquor? Can you give up going out every weekend? Can you give up hanging out with friends? No? Get used to your mediocre paycheck to paycheck life. But if you can sacrifice, you're going to win. And get rid of the people around you that have those old habits that you've been trying to get away from. Because poison travels. It's contagious. Bad habits travel. It's contagious. Stop making excuses. I'm saying all of this, and you may think, oh, well, what is this? All this got to do with black on black crime and how the community could get better. This is all black on black crime. From brothers killing brothers, from sisters gossiping about other sisters, from you not investing time and effort into your future is black on black crime. You doing it to yourself. White people ain't even got to oppress us no more because we doing it to ourselves now. How many times I gotta say it? Fuck all them presidents. If you're still focused on presidents, that is a pawn on a chessboard. Focus on you. Focus on the people you have around you. And once you tighten that up and you get that right, you take that down to Congress and you speak to your local government. Once you've effected change in your local government, expand it from there. Obtain more people in your group. We have to learn organization, man. We can't organize worth a damn no more ever since the Black Panther Party got dismantled and destroyed. I know there's a new Black Panther Party, I know that, but I'm not talking about them. We have all the potential in the world. We have the strength. We have everything. We are everything on this earth. But until we realize that, we will continue to be murdered and oppressed and dysfunctional, brainwashed, expendable individuals. Keep the faith, stay strong. I'm gone.
back up, back up, back up, back up. Back up, back up, back up.
Wait a minute, I was told there's no darkness all in my head, but I won't be a fake. Y'all the trip, living life in restriction.